Listening for main ideas. Let's watch this video clip and do the activity. How to catch the main ideas. This lesson is about catching the main idea and listening for gist, which means the main idea. We are learning two skills in this lesson, and one is listening for gist. So, catching the main idea, how to do that, and the other one is deducing the meaning from. I'm going to be reading a text to you today and give you some comprehension questions which you will need to answer as we go. I want to explain a little bit more about how to listen for gist, how to listen to catch the main idea. Basically, at more advanced levels, you are going to sometimes miss some of what you are listening to. If you are listening to the news, if you are listening to podcasts, if you are still learning, if you are not a fluent speaker yet, if you are not proficient yet, then of course, you are going to miss some. But what is very important to do is to not lose track of the conversation, to still be able to follow for the main idea, even if you are missing the details. You want to still be building those skills and be able to follow for the main ideas. So a great way to do this is to ask WH questions. So questions beginning with WH. What's happening? Where are they? Who's talking? For example. So identifying the speakers and what's the main thing that they are talking about. You can even think about things like the tone of the conversation. Are they arguing? Are they discussing? Are they being romantic? Things like this, so you can follow the main ideas. Also, listening for keywords, which are nouns, dates, times, places, as well as listening to when the voice goes up or down a lot too. When the voice emphasizes something that's more important. So all of these things can really help you listen for the main. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, sit down and get ready to listen to a bit of the story from Game of Thrones, okay? So I have 3 questions for you. The first thing is, there are 2 characters arguing in this scene. Who is arguing and what are they arguing about? So that's question number 1. Second question is, listen for the phrase, rise to the bait. Which is there? Listen to that and I want you to think about what that means, okay? What do you think that phrase actually means? So listen for it and then listen to how it is used and tell me what you think it means. Third question, listen to the adjective unmanned. Unmanned, what do you think this means here? Again, try to deduce the meaning from the context, which is a very important skill in listening. We are listening to the general context, and even if we don't know the meaning of the word, we can try and work it out. We can try and guess from the context rather than having to ask people the meaning or go and check in a dictionary. We can manage to catch the gist of the meaning. We are going to be reading the opening prologue of Game of Thrones. So imagine the scene, everybody. It's dark. They've gone beyond the wall. If you know the story, it's the Night's Watch. So the people who are responsible for going out and checking that everything is safe, they have to go beyond the wall into a kind of wilderness. It's getting dark and there are 3 riders on their horses. So that's the scene for you, everybody. It's wintry, it's cold, and it's a little bit creepy. We should start back. Jared urged as the woods began to grow dark around them. The buildings are dead. Do the dead frighten you? Sir Wayne Malroy said, with just the hint of a smile. Jared did not rise to the bait. He was an old man past 50, and he had seen the lordlings come and go. "Dead is dead," he said. "We have no business with the dead." "Are they dead?" Royce asked softly. "What proof have we?" "We saw them," Jared said. "If he say they're dead, that's all the proof we need." Will had known they would drag him into this quarrel sooner or later. He wished it had been later rather than sooner. "My mother told me that the dead sing no songs," he put in. "My wet nurse said the same thing, Will," Royce replied. "Never believe anything you hear at woman's teeth. There are things to be learned even from the dead." His voice echoed too loud in the twilight forest. "We have long ride before us," Jared pointed out. 8 days, maybe 9, and night is falling. Surveyor Royce glanced to the sky with disinterest. "It does that every day about this time. Are you unmanned by the dark, Jared?" If you want to check your answers to those questions, you can always go back and listen again to that passage and try and answer those questions. So my first question was, there are two characters arguing in this scene. What are they arguing about, and what are their names? The answer to the question was Jared and Surveyor Royce are kind of arguing in this scene, and they are arguing about whether to start to go back. And basically, Surveyor Royce is trying to tease Jared, trying to tease the old man by saying that he's frightened, that he wants to start journeying back. But Surveyor Royce wants to stay, and he's not really bothered about rushing back. So they are kind of arguing a little bit about this. They were the two characters, and that was what they were arguing about. I hope you got that one correct. Second question was to rise to the bait. To rise to the bait now in this passage, Surveyor Royce is trying to bait Jared. He is trying to tease him and mock him and say, "Oh, you're scared of the dark," for example, "and the dead are scaring you." So he's trying to really say that he's not a brave man in a way that he's a coward. So he's baiting him. If we bait, we try to tease, we try to encourage somebody to bite and respond. And that way we can draw them into some kind of conflict. So we want them to bite, and that's why we bait, that's why we tease them. Bait is what fishermen use on the end of the hook when they are fishing. So it's, for example, the little worm or something like that, which is the thing we put in order to make the fish come. So when we bait someone, we're teasing them, we're trying to encourage them to bite. So that is the idiom to rise to the bait. The final question was, what do you think the adjective unmanned means? Let's look at the phrase that is in. It was, "Are you unmanned by the dark?" It's not a very common word, unmanned. We would probably use emasculated actually today instead of this. But this is literature, so it has sometimes some older words. So unmanned probably is quite easy to guess it. We've got un and man, so it really means emasculated. Are you feeling kind of not manly? It is taking away your manliness and your sense of bravery, I suppose. Are you unmanned by the dark? Again, here Surveyor Royce is baiting Jared by saying, "Are you scared of the dark?" Right. Let's practice more now with this video clip, then find out the main idea of the last example, listening for the main idea and supporting details.